Happy Tuesday, October 18th. Welcome to Speak on the Sports. I'm your host, Sham Lewis. We got a special edition for you guys today, man. But before we get started, y'all already know who it is. My main man running the fast break with me. Terrence, say what's up to the people.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Happy Tuesday. It's been a great week up here in the Pacific Northwest. Happy to start this NBA season off right. Let's get to it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, man. So, super excited, man. I'm super excited about the season starting. I've been talking about this NBA season all off season. So, the off season is a season in and of itself, but the NBA season 2022-23 is upon us. And so, we just wanted to bring you our perspectives on the season. We want to talk a little bit about our power rankings, who we think is going to be the most valuable player, defensive player of the year, and so forth. So, Terrence, what you thinking, man? How you feeling about this episode?
I think we've both been waiting for this episode for a minute. Definitely excited about this upcoming NBA season that's underway. If you look behind me, you got Boston and Philly starting it off right. Both teams battling going into halftime, so definitely excited to see if how the season plays out and how this game ends. It's a back and forth contest. Both teams came to play today. Harden is on his game. Tatum is Tatum, and we'll see what Marcus Smart hair color is by the end of the season.
Exactly. All right, man. So, yeah, the first game is underway. It's halftime. It's been a good game so far. We definitely got a couple of tickets on this game, so we'll see how the night turns out. And then when we come back for the next episode of Speak on It Sports, we'll talk about how these bets turned out. But it should be a good time. So let's get right into it. We're going to get right into the power rankings. And then we're going to discuss who we think are going to be the top 5 teams coming out of each conference. So, Terrence, we're going to start with you. And we're going to talk about your power rankings. So, at number 5, we're going to start
Sham,
with the West.
I think we're having some technical difficulties. I'm not able to see anything displayed.
Hold on. Let me see what is going on here. Let's go back to live mode.
There we go. There we have it.
All right, cool. So, again, let's start with the Western Conference, T. And we'll say you got the New Orleans Pelicans. Talk to me about how you're feeling.
Absolutely. How the West was won. The Pelicans. I think they're the not so surprised team of the year. You got a healthy Zion who looks in shape, and he's a dog. He's ready to go. They just re-signed McCullough, having him, come in with the emergence of Ingram. I think this team is ready to take that next step and to be a force game in and game out, night in and night out on the West. So I'm excited to see what the Pelicans bring this year. A very dynamic team. And I think they're a matchup nightmare for most of the Western Conference.
Okay. All right, cool. So, in my number 5 spot, I got the Grizzlies. Obviously, the Grizzlies have had they're trending in the right direction. Let me get our faces on here while we discuss the power rankings. But the Grizzlies are definitely trending in the right direction. It's exciting to see Ja, bring his the excitement, the way he brings it. It's always good to see that. And they just got a really solid squad, man. Jaren Jackson is super solid. I've always liked this game since he's come into the league. Here, let me get you on the screen here. Boom. There you go. All right, bam. Just so we can be seen. All right. I don't know what's going on up here. Yeah, but so I'm feeling good about Memphis. I think they're going to have another strong season. I think as Ja inches closer and closer to MVP, I believe that at times during the season he'll be in the MVP discussion the way he is in most seasons. But we'll get to our MVP talk a little bit later. So I was really shocked to see who you have at number 4 out of the West with the Timberwolves. You think they're going to be in the top 5, huh?
They are a top five, top four team. Let me specify that this year. Um, Really, like if you look at their they're 8 or 9 deep. Just with the starting lineup, they finally have an interior presence. Cat, he's not a defender. He's a rebounder. So adding Rudy Gobert there, taking the pressure off of him to produce offensively. Just let him focus on the defensive side and kind of be the anchor on the defense is what they need. So he's going to step in to fill that role. Anthony Edwards, what can you say about the young man? He is
Yeah.
ready. He's a bull, and he's going to go forward. And I don't see much competition at the two guard that can actually stop him night in and night out. You get what you get with Cap. He's an up and down player, but when he's on, he's on. He can be one of the best big men in the league. If D'Angelo Russell can stay healthy and distribute the ball, knock down shots when he's called upon. They have a great bench. I think the low key highlight of this team will be the emergence of Jaden McDaniels, the 6'10" point forward who can do it all on the court. He can defend. He can take you off the dribble. He's a knockdown shooter. I think he's finally reached his peak, or not peak, but he's finally coming to his own in the NBA. I think it took him a couple of years. Last year you saw glimpses of it, and I see you're going to see more this year. You're going to see more consistency with him. Definitely expect them to be contenders in the West.
All right, so let's move to your number 3 power rank team because I got the Denver Nuggets at number 4. I'm feeling pretty good about Denver. I feel like Denver they come up short a lot, and it's just kind of on par for them to have a great regular season. But we are talking about the regular season, not necessarily the playoffs. They got the back-to-back MVP in Nikola Jokic. Murray's back. And Michael Porter Jr. is back. So they should have a good run. But we got to see and put it all together in the playoffs. What say you about the Denver Nuggets?
We talked about this earlier. You know how I feel about the Nuggets, man. I think Michael Porter Jr. Is ready, healthy. If we can put all the injuries, coming into coming into the seasons, coming into his actual NBA professional basketball career aside, and if he's healthy and ready to go, there's no stopping what the Denver Nuggets can be. So a lot of that is taking a step out on faith, and if Murray and Porter Jr. are healthy, they definitely can be the catalyst to compete. We saw what what the MVP was able to do. Without much supporting cast, having two dynamic scorers, two-way players in Murray and Porter Jr. They'll be ready to take the next step, and I expect them to be there during playoff times. I think they got the message. They know that it's a long season. They're going to prepare for the playoffs, and I think they're built to do some damage in the playoffs. So, looking forward to seeing this Denver team compete this year.
All right, and
Barring any injuries, I gotta say that barring any injuries, because if
barring injury,
yeah.
of course, that's a part of professional sports, but you got to take that into consideration. So hopefully, we wish all these players excellent health. But one thing is for sure, we both got the Golden State Warriors at the top when it comes to the Western Conference. How you feeling about Golden State?
Golden State, they are who we thought they were and who they're going to be.
Indeed.
I'm looking. I know what to expect. From Clay and Steph. I think Draymond will digress even more. But this is the perfect opportunity for those three young cats to get busy. I'm not throwing Jordan Poole in there because I think there's an expectation set for him. But Kaminga, Wiseman, and Moses Moody, I think they're ready to flourish. Not to mention that key pickup of DiVincenzo from Milwaukee. To kind of play that Gary Payton second role coming off the bench this year. So they are the team to beat. They are the defending champions. And I'm ready to see, Steph and them just light it up. The Splash Brothers, go again,
Yeah.
and there's a pool party this year. So,
It's gonna
yeah.
definitely be a pool party, a hundred
And
and
I
forty
missed
million
Andrew
dollar pool
Wiggins.
party.
I didn't even mention Andrew Wiggins, who he single handedly should have been the MVP of the playoffs. But,
I'm excited about Wiseman. I mean, for me,
mhm.
he is to me the piece that they have that could extend their run as champions and contenders. If he is who we think he's supposed to be, Golden State gonna still be tough for a little bit longer. Let's move on to the next topic. I know we still got to go back and discuss the East, but let's move on and discuss who we think is going to be the defensive player of the year, and then we'll come back to the East a little bit later. So we got very different opinions. I know you're very high on this player, so I'm going to let you say who you think is going to be the defensive player of the year for the 2023 season.
The 2023 NBA Defensive Player of the Year award will go to, from the Cleveland Cavs, number 31, Jared Allen. He made an All-Star appearance last year. I think he's ready. He's been a good defender, since coming into the league. With the acquisitions that the Cavs have made, this offseason, and just another year, another opportunity to grow. I think he's going to step into his own and just lead the league in blocks, be top 7 in rebounds. And the good thing about him is his movement. He has fluid movement. And, if he needs to step out on the perimeter and defend, he's that guy. He's not going to get you those steals, but a traditional throwback big with the ability to extend with his length and defend all 5 positions. Jared Allen will be your 2023 NBA Defensive Player of the Year. Now I know we have differences of opinion here.
Yeah,
That's why I
yeah,
had to
yeah.
slow it down, let you marinate on it a little bit. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
that's okay. So, I am gonna go ahead and say who I think is gonna be the defensive player of the year for the 2022-2023 NBA season. The defensive player of the year is gonna go to none other than the Milwaukee Bucks' own Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis is the best player in the NBA. He has the highest motor of all the superstars. There may be some role players that may be able to challenge him as far as motor goes, but in terms of getting things done, the numbers that he's been putting up, man, 33 points, I believe 12 rebounds, and 5 or 6 assists in like less than 34 minutes a game. It's kind of ridiculous. Imagine if he was playing 36, 37, 38 minutes a game, kind of the way LeBron is forced to have to do every season. His numbers would be through the roof. He would have those James Harden type numbers. But we're not talking about him on the offensive side of the ball. He's also a lockdown defender. He can guard the perimeter. He can guard the paint. And he's already proven himself and has a Defensive Player of the Year award. And he should have too. So That's my choice for the defensive player of the year for the 2022-2023 season. It's going to be Giannis Antetokounmpo.
And we will agree to disagree. I just don't see Giannis having to lead that team with the lack of depth that they have and be the defensive player of the year. I just don't see it. He's going to have to score more, which will take away from him on the defensive side. So we will see.
That is what they say. That is the narrative. But we have yet to see Giannis gas. Giannis
True.
goes out in the playoffs usually when, before he developed into the player that he is now. But usually it's an injury, barring some sort of an injury from one of his key teammates. Giannis has proven that he's not going to be an easy out in the Eastern Conference. So I look forward to this season again, and especially the Eastern Conference playoffs, because it's gonna be tough to get out of the East.
Hey, I do have to say this because workload management is a thing, and if the Milwaukee Bucks want to compete for a title, there's no way. I'm sorry, there's no way he can win Defensive Player of the Year. It's not possible. They have to really put him on the minutes. Anything's possible, but still, I'm just saying. I just know.
No, bro,
I don't
not
see
possible.
it. I just don't see it. What's more important to him, another Finals MVP or the Defensive Player of the Year?
What's more likely, Jared Allen? And I'm not even going to ask you that question because I already know what your answer is going to be. All right, so let's move on to the next topic. That was an interesting one. We're going to move on to the next topic, man. We got some. Why does this one thing keep playing and yours is like doing nothing? I really just kind of want to turn this off. It's kind of irritating me. You know what? Let me just pause. No, let me not pause it. Let me let it go away, and then I'm going to pause it. Bam. Nope. Jesus. All right. So here, let me just put yours on so I don't feel. That's Terrence Mayers, everybody. All right, we're trying to get this thing together, man. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next one here. Let's talk about Sixth Man of the Year. Sixth Man of the Year. Last year was Tyler Hero. He had a solid season. Who do you think is going to be this year?
So the sixth man, a.k.a. Jamal Crawford, Seattle native award winner will be, and our consensus is it's a pool party. It
is definitely a pool party. I think this is
a pool party.
One of the few things that we agreed on when it comes to these awards. Is that the sixth man of the year is going to be none other than the $140 million man. And I'm more right than you about Jordan Poole. That's why he's bigger on my side than he is on your side. Because I'm more right. All right, cool, man. Right. So we both think Jordan Poole is going to have an excellent season. I think Draymond Green is going to get less and less shots, and he's going to get more and more out of the rotation because he's important to them in the locker room, but this situation with Golden State is going to be real interesting to see how this.
Well, he was important to them to the locker room. I don't know if you can say the same thing anymore.
Well, we're gonna find out, ain't we? Because it's open tonight. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. All right, so we're gonna move on to MIP, Most Improved Player. Terrence, who do you think is going to be the most improved player this year?
I already said his name earlier. Just based off of the amount of injuries that have piled up, and we've all seen glimpses of the talent. We know his ability. We know that he can just be that anchor, for the team offensively if need be. He's going to get you the rebounds. He's a 3-level scorer. None other than a healthy Michael Porter Jr. I went back and forth on this with a couple of other guys, but I just think that um, the improvement just over time has been there, and I think this is the year where he steps up and shows out. And Michael Porter Jr. will be the most improved player.
All right. Well, I gotta disagree.
Of course.
I have to disagree on most improved player. I think that the most improved player is gonna be a guy who has been in the news a lot this offseason because he was due a bag. He had an excellent season last year. I think he's going to have an even better season this year. He averaged 18 points a game last season on 36% shooting from three. And I find it very, very difficult to believe that he's going to average 18 points a game again. I see him going up to at least 22 to 24 points a game. I know that's kind of crazy, right? Because this guy is also going to be my sixth man of the year. Most improved player is definitely going to be Jordan Poole. Most improved.
Oh, you are wrong.
And
You
sixth
are
man of
wrong.
the year. Has that ever happened before? I don't even know if that's ever happened before. Is that possible for the most improved player to be the sixth man of the year? Because guess what? He could have got it last year. Let me see. What do you think, though?
So Anthony Simon should have probably got it last year. I think he was a little bit more deserving. But like I said, I went back and forth on my pick. I thought that Anthony Edwards might be the most improved. But again, just like Anthony Edwards and Poole, I think there's an expectation for both of them. I think there's high expectations for both of them to perform, and usually that most improved is the individual who shows out in more ways than one. And we know Poole's not going to be a great defender, so I just don't see him being six man and the most improved player of the year. It's not possible.
I don't know about not possible, because anything is
It is
possible.
possible.
So, hey, man, Tyler Hero got sixth man of the year last year with 20.7 points per game on 39, basically 40% shooting.
And Tyler
from,
Hero
from,
defends.
from downtown. Well,
He defends.
he'll sit in the
You
chair
know,
sometimes. But we'll see. We'll see, man. We'll see. I think Jordan Poole has the potential to be a good defender. We'll see if this big contract will have the effect on him that we've seen it have on other players. Sometimes you get that money, man, and it's just like I made it, and you start resting on your laurels. But we'll see if he remains hungry, because I think there's a chance that he becomes the number 2 option on the Warriors.
behind
Because
behind Steph.
behind
Over
Steph,
Clay?
yeah, over Clay, behind Steph and over Clay, because Clay, he got a torch, but Jordan Poole can shoot just as good as Clay. If not, he's right beneath him, a tick beneath Clay, but he definitely has more in his bag. Clay is a catch and shoot player, and Jordan Poole can get his off the dribble. And while Jordan Poole may not be a great defender.
Hold on. I have to stop you there. Clay is more than just a stop and shoot.
I mean, he used to be a great defender until these injuries, but we haven't seen Clay. Clay didn't have a great finals.
We should have put some highlights up on Clay, because he missed the third quarter, man, and you can't tell me that's all off of screens and pick and rolls. He's had the ball in his hand. He can pull up. He can get to the rack. Yeah,
Clay
we're
got
gonna have to,
Clay got
we're
two
gonna have to
moves.
disagree on that.
Clay can get you 2 dribbles, right? Coming off a curl, he can get you 2 dribbles into the rack, but he don't have a dribble package like that.
Okay.
He doesn't have a dribble package like that. Jordan Poole is gonna get 23 to 25 a game. I think Steph Curry is gonna be close to 30 points a game this year, and I think Klay Thompson is going to be around 18 or 19, and Jordan Poole is going to be the second leading scorer on the Golden State Warriors.
Wow, you think Clay's only getting 18 or 19 a game?
Listen, we got to see.
A healthy Clay. He's healthy this year.
He
He's
is. But
healthy. He was coming off with some injuries. This is time has passed. He is ready. Ooh, we're
I'm
gonna see.
well. I'm not down on Klay Thompson, but I'm super high on Jordan Poole. That's all I can
Okay.
say.
Okay.
All right, man. So let's move on to, you know what? Here, let's go ahead and go back to the Eastern Conference and
Sure.
discuss the power rankings because this is. I just want to knock this out here. So you got some interesting choices in your power ranking. Your order is all messed up. I don't know
Ooh.
what. I don't know
Ooh.
what you were thinking, but we obviously see the Brooklyn Nets very differently. So I'm gonna let you tell me why you have Brooklyn at number one in the East. Well, you know
Why
what?
do I have?
I don't want to. Let's not do it that way because
Mhm.
I have them at number five. So let me tell you why I don't think they should be number one, and then you
Okay.
can tell me why you're wrong. So the KD, love KD. Okay. I don't think that KD has the same impact, as efficient as he still is with his jump shot. I don't think he has the same impact that he used to have maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And it could be due to injury, it could be due to age, but I just don't think KD has the same impact that he used to have. Kyrie has already taken a personal day. The season's just starting. He's already taken a personal day. So I don't expect Kyrie to play 70 games, right? I don't expect Kyrie to play 70 games. And then with his mercurial disposition, he might take 2 or 3 sabbaticals, during the season. But that remains to be seen. The other piece to their puzzle, which is their big 2.5, is Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is a solid defender. He's a great defender. But he still can't shoot. And we'll see if he has some sort of PTSD based on how the last couple of seasons have gone for him. And he didn't have a great showing in the preseason either. He had some moments, but he didn't have a great showing in the preseason. So I want to see them put it all together. They're still very thin in the middle. They're still relying on Blake Griffin.
Nope. Blake Griffin is.
Oh, wait a
If you're
minute.
watching the game, he's in Boston right now.
Didn't I
Don't
just
rely
see?
on
I
that.
thought I did. You know what I did? As I said that, I was like, wait a minute. I just saw Blake Griffin on the TV a second ago. So they lost some key pieces during the offseason. And we will see how well they put it all together. I know they got some pieces coming back. They got Joe Harris coming back. They got Seth Curry, who's a knockdown shooter. But we will see. They have on paper a great team, but they are all and not to steal other people's takes, but I mean next year is always the Nets year. So I'm just not real high on the Nets. I think they're going to have a decent regular season. I think they may be third place, fourth place. They may finish somewhere in there. But we'll see. I'm not high on the Nets.
Do you want me to jump in? Because I know that was your number 5, but they're my number
Yeah, you
one.
can jump in. You know
Okay.
what? Let's just go to your number 5. How about the Miami Heat?
The Miami Heat.
How you feeling about the Heat?
Man, Jimmy Buckets, man. Jimmy Butler's probably my favorite player in the NBA as of right now.
So you're biased.
I just love his mentality. His just the come from nothing to work hard and just that dog mentality that he has. The do it all kind of player. Bam, I think Bam is ready to take another step as well. So those two, along with Tyler Hero, just being that six man, um, they're going to be in every game. They're going to be one of the top defensive teams, but they're missing pieces. And I'm not a big fan of Lowry. I think they need to upgrade the point guard position, and they also need more depth. So I have them just based off of Bam, Tyler, and Jimmy at my number five. They'll compete, but I maybe get out of the first round. We'll see. Um, it'll be tough trying to beat my number four team, then Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis and Co. I think that'll probably go 6 games, but I think the Bucks will knock them out in the first round. So those are my five and my four picks. I don't like the depth of the Milwaukee Bucks outside of Giannis. I just don't think that they're deep defensively. They haven't improved the roster, since they've won the title, and just putting everything on Giannis's shoulder, with a bunch of role players. I just don't see it happening.
I hear you. Well, you're obviously wrong because I have the Bucks as number one. But that's why you should have took the Atlanta Hawks with your number five team because they're obviously going to have a better season than the Miami Heat, which is why you should have picked them. So they were, they were saying that the Atlanta Hawks don't have any defense, and I would have to slightly disagree. Right? They got DeJounte Murray, they got DeAndre Hunter, Clint Capella. John Collins is not a great defender, but if they can get a defensive philosophy, they should be a strong enough team to have a good season. They were just in the Eastern Conference Finals 2 years ago. There's no reason why adding DeJounte Murray to that team, they shouldn't be top 4 in the Eastern Conference.
They won't be healthy. That's why. That's it. They just have a history of not being healthy. You can't rely on them to be there when it's called for. Somebody's going to be out for the Atlanta Hawks. Someone's going to be out. That's just what it is. So I can't have them in my top five just because of that. I don't think that it'll be a healthy season for at least two of their key players.
All right. Well, we'll agree to disagree there, and we'll see how that goes. But I'll let you cover the Cavs because you're obviously really high on the Cavs. We feel the same about the Cavs. I think you have some of these players you're a little too high on some of these guys. But I think the Cavs are going to have a phenomenal season. What say you?
Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, and elder statesman Kevin Love, Evan Mobley, Levert, Ricky Rubio, the other Mobley, Jared Allen, as I mentioned. Their team is deep. Their team is deep. Robin Lopez, Okoro, Neto, they're ready to compete in the East. 1 through 8, you can put them up. Sadie Osman as well. As a role player, I think they're ready to take the step. They're bringing in Mitchell. He's competing for that next contract. Maybe he wants to go to New York. Maybe they can convince him to stay in Cleveland. But look out, man. Darius Garland as well. I think he's in the East, he's probably top 5 point guard in the East. And they got big fundamental in Mobley. He's like Tim Duncan 2.0. I would call him the modern Tim Duncan. Love his game coming out of USC. And my boy Allen, Defensive Player of the Year. Let's go. Cavs, 3rd in the East.
Okay. All right. We apparently see things the same towards the top of the Eastern Conference. I think Joel Embiid got robbed of an MVP last season.
Absolutely.
I think that him carrying the Philadelphia 76ers through the entire season while Ben Simmons sat on his hands was the story in and of itself. He definitely should have gotten that MVP. And then even after Harden came on late, James Harden didn't have a great showing. So it wasn't like, James Harden came on and was this huge difference maker. The first 2 or 3 games, it was like, oh my God, he was 25 points and 18 assists, something like that. And then the next thing you know, he's back to the James Harden that we know, the hot dog, and that sort of thing. So I think James Harden having a full season with these guys and going into the playoffs healthy, I think is going to be a huge difference. I think Tyrese Maxey is coming on really strong. I think he's going to be a great addition for them if Tobias Harris can find some consistency. I think they're going to be really tough, man. I think the 76ers are going to be really, really tough during the regular season. And I think Joel Embiid is going to have a huge attitude because for the last 2 years, he could have been named MVP and it's gone to Joker. But last season in particular, it definitely should have gone to Joel Embiid. So I think he's going to be playing with reckless abandon this year. And I see them as one of the top 2 seeds, possibly having the best record in the Eastern Conference.
So they're down 9 right now to the Celtics in the third quarter. I don't like the speed in which Embiid is playing with tonight. It's opening night. Expect him to get in better shape and to continue to progress as the season goes along. A Doc Rivers-led team is going to be there. They won't get over the hump, but they'll get there. Harden is in better shape. They're missing a couple of pieces. If Tobias Harris, can play like he's been playing today all year, definitely, expect a lot from them. But depth-wise, I think that's going to be, the thing that holds them back is when that second unit comes in, not being able to stay up with some of the other talent that the Eastern Conference has, coming off the bench. So we'll see what happens. Again, this is all barring any injuries because injuries can impact that in a major way.
100%. And at the top of the Eastern Conference, man, I mean, you couldn't be more wrong. It's definitely not going to be the Brooklyn Nets with the best record in the East. They should definitely not be at the top of the power rankings. They haven't proven
Absolutely
anything.
should.
They haven't proven anything. But it's a brand new season, and they have an opportunity to do so. But I just don't think that any team is going to be better than the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis and I mean that. I know you say they have a lot of role players over there, and they do. But that's what makes them so good because they got a bunch of players that know what their roles are, and they can star in their roles, like Chris Middleton, like Drew Holiday. Unfortunately, they lost DiVincenzo to the Golden State Warriors, but they did add Joe Ingles, who is often injured. I'm hoping that Joe Ingles is going to have a healthy season because he's actually one of my favorite off the bench, rugged type of guys, man. Because he talk that talk, he'll get in your face. He's not afraid of the moment, and he kind of reminds me of Bobby Portis, which is why Bobby Portis is such a huge piece over in Milwaukee. I think if Joe Ingles can be healthy for a playoff run, it's going to make them that much more difficult to beat to have somebody who can give you a solid 17 off the bench. So I've always liked Joe Ingles' game, so I'm probably a little higher on Joe Ingles than most. But if he can stay healthy, I think he'll give the Milwaukee Bucks a chance to be in every game, and not like because of him. Obviously, the Milwaukee Bucks have the best player in the NBA. Giannis plays with. You said that's available?
That's debatable.
I mean, of course it's debatable. But it's difficult to say that he's second. Right? It's only debatable that he's first because there's nobody in the NBA that is better than Giannis Antetokounmpo. They may have a different skill set. KD his has a better jump shot. Kyrie has better handles. Steph Curry is a better free throw shooter. But none of them play with the force that Giannis plays with. And that force is the reason why Giannis is a two-time MVP, a Finals MVP, an NBA champion in a small market. And he is going to have another great season. And we'll see how that goes. But what say you about the Brooklyn Nets? Why do you think the Brooklyn
Let,
Nets should be at the
let
top
me
of the
start
power
off
ranking?
with. I got to start off with this: Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Nick Claxton, T.J. Warren, Cam Thomas, Patty Mills, Joe Harris. This isn't the same team from last year. Royce O'Neal, to some extent.
It pretty
Markeith
much is the
Morris.
same team from last year.
Well, they made the trade, sent Harden, bringing over Simmons. A healthy Simmons who's not going to be asked to score. He's going to be asked to get to the cup and to defend. So when it comes time, for the Milwaukee Bucks to come into town, who's going to be guarding Giannis? It's going to be Ben Simmons. It's not going to be Kevin Durant. So you tell me Kevin Durant can guard who? Bobby Portis or Middleton,
What I'm telling
and,
you is
and
this
it
going to
doesn't
be
have to
four
put
on
that much
five in the
work.
playoff series.
Ben Simmons will not be asked to do that. He's not going to be asked to score and knock down jump shots. It's going to be very simple for him. Defend, get to the rim, distribute the ball,
All
and let
right.
Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving just look. So, Seth Curry off the bench. I'm excited about the Brooklyn Nets this year. Kevin Durant, man, I think he has a lot to prove just with all the talk, and you're gonna see the sniper. You're gonna see the sniper. He's gone.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Well, I mean, he is a sniper, but we'll see. I'm kind of looking at my pick for this next category, and I'm like, I can't really reconcile my pick for Coach of the Year with my power ranking. But that's okay because I'm still gonna go with Mike Malone of the Denver Nuggets for Coach of the Year. I think he's gonna have a phenomenal season because he's gonna have a healthy uh, um, Michael Porter Jr. Uh, the point guard, I can't think of his name right now, Murray. He's gonna be healthy. So I think they're gonna have, and they got a point guard, man, Highland. This kid coming off the bench, man. This dude is pretty good, man. So Denver has a really solid. I think Mike Malone is going to be Coach of the Year. So I may have him a little bit low on my power ranking, but I do think that they could have maybe the second best record in the NBA. Second, I think they're going to be a really great regular season team. What about you for Coach of the Year? Uh, did I lose you? Can you hear me? Um, Not really sure what's happening, man. We're having a little technical difficulty. Let's go ahead and pause this for a sec.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, great.
I got you.
So yeah,
So
as I was saying,
Coach of the Year.
Willie Green is my pick from the New Orleans Pelicans as coach of the year. Um, I just think that the team is ready. The team is ready to take a step in the right direction. They have the pieces that they need. And he just has to get out of his way, put them in the right position to succeed. And we're going to see the Pelicans make some noise in the West.
I agree, man. I think Zion's gonna have just a monster year, but I'm looking forward to him stringing a couple of really solid years together so he can get, you know, NBA ready. I know he looks great right now, but by mid-season, man, it's gonna be pretty ridiculous to see some of the stuff that he's able
Yeah.
to do. I'm super excited that he's back. Um, so I didn't even go to the graphic, but you got Willie Green of the New Orleans Pelicans. I got Mike Malone of the Denver Nuggets. All right, man. Let's go to we get into the fun stuff, man. Let's go ahead and wrap up this special NBA edition as we get to these last few categories, the ones that everybody is going to want to see, the ones that are going to matter the most. MVP. We're going to go with MVP. Who you got for MVP?
MVP winning his second MVP for the Brooklyn Nets, Kevin Durant. Enough said.
Kevin Durant winning his second MVP. You know, I think Kevin Durant has the disposition of very similar to Kobe Bryant. You know, an antagonistic relationship with the media and that sort of thing. So for that reason, I think Kevin Durant is going to retire a one-time MVP. My pick for MVP this year is going to be Luka. Now I have the Mavericks. I believe in my top five. I definitely did. Yeah, I
I
had
don't know
Dallas.
why, but
I got Dallas as number 3 in my top 5. I think Luka's the man been averaging 29, 9, and 9. All right. I mean, he's slow. He don't have a downhill game. But somehow this kid is unstoppable. Luka's one of my favorite players in a long time. I love that the first few years of his career, you know, the Morris twins used to try to bully him, and he used to just bust their ass, man. You know, I love that he's fearless. You know, we brothers. You know, we be on the court trying to punk white guys. Everybody black think they tougher than everybody that's white. But Luka has no fear. He don't back down, and he is definitely top 3 of the best players in the NBA, in my opinion. I think he's definitely top 3. So I have Luka winning his first MVP this year.
and that's a solid pick, man. I'm a big Luca fan as well. I just don't understand why more people are trying to play with him. Really, he makes everyone around him better. He's going to put up buckets. He's going to pass the ball. He's going to do everything he can to win the game. And I definitely like Luca. I hope he's not in a situation like Dirk Nowitzki, maybe get one knock at the title in his career. I hope more people flock to wanting to play Luca and make some noise for the next 10 years. But as of right now, they're a playing team. I have them next to the Lakers as a playing team. That he just has no support around him, and he can't do it by himself. So
Man, you crazy. You crazy.
we will see.
With the Lakers? No.
Yep.
But we will see. No. But definitely not. They are going to be top 4 in the West.
Wow.
Yeah. They'll be
Can you
top
name
4.
me another player on their
They
team?
may have,
Can you name me another player on their team?
Yeah, Tim Hardaway Jr., Christian Wood. Yeah, I
No,
can't name
I'll
anybody
give
else.
you
I
Christian
know,
Wood.
so
He's
you know,
decent. He's decent.
yeah, they got a couple guys over there. They got a couple guys. They got a
You're
couple
thinking
guys.
about it now, huh?
Yeah, now I'm thinking about it. Like damn, with Maxi Kleber, they got Boban. They got
You're googling it right now. It's
Shark
okay.
Tank guy.
It's okay.
They got Dak Prescott. They got
That's the thing. There's no state tax in Texas, so I don't know as an NBA player why you're not trying to get there and play with them.
yeah,
That's
that
money in your
part.
pocket.
Yeah. Well, I think Dallas is. I mean, because Dallas never has a great team, but they always they always are in the running, and I don't think this season is going to be any different. I think Christian Wood is a very solid running mate. Christian Wood been kind of toiling away in Houston in NBA purgatory, so he's going to be on a bigger stage, and people are going to get to see actually how good Christian Wood is. So I'm excited to see him. Hopefully he can stay healthy because he'll give.
Is it he coming off the bench?
I think he might be starting. He might be starting,
Okay.
but I could be wrong. He was a starter in Houston. All right, let's move on. So we got the conference finals, man. We got the last two categories, which is going to be the conference finals, who we think are going to make it to the conference. Well, three really conference finals, and then who we think are going to be the champs for this upcoming season. And then we got our parlays that we'll kind of power through because this fourth quarter is looking real scary right now. I'm not liking what I'm seeing as far as my bet. But because I took Philly, I thought Embiid was gonna come back with some anger, but we'll see. So let's talk about our Western Conference choices, and I guess our Eastern Conference choices. I'll pull the graphic up here. So these are the teams that we think are gonna make it to the Eastern and Western Conference Finals. I got Bucks Sixers. In the East, you got the Nets and the Sixers in the East, which is not a surprise because I have the Bucks number one, and you got the Nets number one, and we both got Phillies number two. So that's no big shock there. We are both very high on the Golden State Warriors, and I think the Clippers.
We didn't talk about that.
The Clippers. Oh my God. So, I think Joel Embiid is going to have another. So we'll focus on the Eastern Conference for a second. I think Joel Embiid is going to have another fantastic season. I think he's going to be first team All NBA again. I think he's going to be right up there, potentially with an MVP again. So I think Philly is definitely going to make it. And then obviously for all the reasons that I've already explained, having the best player in the NBA, in my opinion, I think the Bucks are definitely going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, we don't see eye to eye on that one, but like I said, anything's possible. Or KG. But yeah, I definitely can see the 76ers. I like Embiid and Harden if they're healthy and they can make some noise, dynamic duel in the playoffs. I think they're built for the playoffs. The half court game, the regular season is one thing, up and down the court, flashy plays or whatnot. But certain teams are built for the playoffs, and I just think the 76ers are one of those this year. But again, I have the Nets. I just think that they're going to be good on both sides, just able to defend, rebound, and get buckets when it matters. You got Kyrie, you got KD. You need a bucket when to get you one. When it's clutch time, I just don't see anyone beating Brooklyn.
Okay. And let's move to the Western Conference. Obviously, we got the defending champs. They're for obvious reasons. We both have them returning to the Western Conference Finals. Talk to me about why you think why you got Denver going to the Western Conference Finals.
A healthy Jamal Murray, first off. If he can get back to form and just perform like he's supposed to, again with Michael Porter Jr. just kind of being a dynamic player with the Joker, they're going to be tough to beat. Like I said, they're built for the playoffs. Um, Not having to, you know, win on fast breaks or being able to run their sets, get buckets when it matter, and defend and protect the rim. I think Denver is going to make noise in the playoffs, and it might be a surprise this year to some, but not to me. I think we'll see Golden State and Denver in the Western Conference Finals.
Okay, and for me, I got the Clippers. Obviously, you're going to have a healthy Kawhi, a healthy Paul George. We'll see how long they can stay healthy. But I believe that the Clippers have the deepest team in the league. They have all the wings. They got Norman Powell and Robert Covington on the bench. They still got Reggie Jackson coming off the bench. They still got Luke Kennard. They have Terrence Mann. Jesus Christ, man. How much, like, they got all the wings. And we're not even talking about John Wall and Zubac and the other Morris. Is the other Morris guy still over there? I mean, the Clippers got all the
Marcus is
wings.
still
Bro.
there.
The Clippers got all the wings. In the NBA, the way you win championships is two-way wings. And they have them all. From 1 to 10. They got the deepest team in the NBA. Like, easily, like, Luke Kennard is the 11th best player on that team. So I'm feeling very confident about the Clippers making it as health, of course. But I feel very confident about the Clippers getting to the Western Conference Finals against the Golden State Warriors, which brings us to so we got to choose. Who do we think is going to win? So I say.
So before you jump, I have to talk about the Clippers for a quick second.
Okay.
Zubac is your only big. Literally, it's your only big. There's no way that they can stop half the teams in the West.
Teams go small in the playoffs.
Right, but you have to be able to rebound. You're talking about the offensive glass. So when you have like Andrew Wiggins, that is a dog on the offensive, side rebounding. You have Michael Porter, you have Joker, for example, in the West that are pulling down rebounds, stepping out. You're going to have to play small with the Clippers. And can Kawhi really be that 4 or 5? Can Paul really be that 3 or 4? I'm saying more 4, than anything else. So I like the Clippers as well. I think John Wall's going to have a great year, but they're second round and out.
Stop it. Just stop it. I mean, stop it. I mean, they got. I didn't even mention Nick Batum. They still got Nick Batum, right? They have.
Come on.
I just mean in terms of two-way. I just mean in terms of two-way wings. I just mean simply in terms of two-way wings, man. And we're talking about two-way wings that are an average of about 6'7" to 6'10". Robert Covington 6'10", 6'9". Luke Kennard 6'8", 6'9". Marcus Morris the same. Batum, 6'9" with a 7-foot wingspan. The Claw, Paul George, 6'8", 6'9" guys with 7-foot wingspans. So you don't necessarily need to have tall guys if you have a defensive philosophy, and they have arguably the best coach in the NBA, in Tyronn Lue. So
Wow.
you take the Tyronn Lue's coaching philosophy, and all of these players, you got championship level players, you got players with something to prove. You got John Wall, who's I'm sure going to be ready to have a great season. And the Clippers are going to be super tough to beat. The Clippers are going to be super tough.
So we're gonna have to make a side bet on that. I don't see them getting out of the second round.
Okay.
So let's make a friendly $5 wager on that.
I'm definitely down to make a $5 wager. So are we wagering that the Clippers make it to the Western Conference Finals? Is that the wager?
Correct.
Okay. You are on, sir. Virtual
All right.
handshake, $5.
Yes, sir.
The Clippers will definitely make it to the Western Conference Finals. That being said, who do you have between Brooklyn and Philly?
Hello, Brooklyn.
Hello, Brooklyn. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you have between Golden State and Denver?
Warrior.
Okay,
Come
so
out
you think
to
it's going to
see.
be KD versus Steph in the finals.
Exactly.
That's some wishful thinking there, buddy. All right, so I got the 76ers and the Bucks. I think I got the Bucks in 6. And then I got the Golden State Warriors and the Clippers. I got Golden State beating the Clippers in 7.
Ooh.
It's going to be the Bucks and the Golden State Warriors in the finals. And the NBA champions for the 2022-23 NBA season is going to be none other than
The
Milwaukee
Golden
Bucks.
State Warriors.
The Milwaukee
I
Bucks.
said this to you before. This is the last dance. This is the last dance for the Warriors. Draymond is gone at the end of this year. So this is the documentary moment. And
Wait, man, this
Warriors,
is this is
last
Wiseman.
one.
This is, and I don't think so, because I think Wiseman is going to help them to parlay their championship and the emergence of Jordan Poole and Jonathan Kuminga. I think he's going to help them to push things forward. But I think they're going to struggle against the Bucks, because I think the Bucks get to the finals healthy. They do not have an answer for Giannis. And if Chris Middleton comes to play and Drew Holiday can make it difficult for Steph Curry,
He can't.
I don't see why he can't. He's done it before. But I don't see why the Milwaukee Bucks don't come out as the champions for the 2023 season.
Because they have no depth.
Hey,
They
man.
have no depth. I'm sorry. When Jordan Poole comes off the bench, when that second unit, when Kuminga comes in, you got Andrew Wiggins still in there.
You don't got to
Wiseman
convince
coming
me.
in 'cause
We've
Luka's
already
gonna start.
listen, man. We've already made the arguments. The Bucks are going to be the champs, and that's it. The Bucks are going to be the champs, and it's going to be great because the Warriors are going to make it back to the finals, and we'll be podcasting the whole time. And then when the finals come around next year, we'll be able to both say, "Hey, I told you it was going to be." Well, you're not going to be able to, because I'm going to be like, "I told you it was going to be Bucks Warriors in the finals," and you're going to be like, "KD got eliminated 2 rounds ago." So, it'll be the Bucks and the Warriors, and Giannis is going to get chip number 2. Which brings us to the final chapter before we sign off of this special edition, our Power Parlays of the week.
And I'm watching the game behind me.
NBA edition.
Just make a run. Make a run. They won't make a
Jesus
run.
Christ. Well, so much for my ticket.
Yeah, it looks like it's over for
But they did go over.
Did they get the 216?
They
Yep, they
over.
did. They got the over.
They went over,
So my,
but
my other ticket is good.
I just need the 76ers to lose by not 4.
2 points.
So I need them to, you know what I'm saying? Like, just make a comeback because the game's not over yet. We'll see how this goes. I might put in another bet and take the over and the points with the Warriors and just try to redeem myself for the day.
So this is the same bet. I'm about to place the same bet minus the 76ers money line. Shoot, that hurt. I thought they were gonna do something today, but
You said
they
you're going to
can't
take
get
the
nothing.
70s. Oh, you took this. Oh, yeah, 76ers, man. I don't know what we were thinking about, bro. I don't know why I didn't. Boston had something to prove. They just lost in the finals. They lost their coach. They're at home.
Russell.
Like, what the hell? Ain't no way I should have picked Boston today. I mean, Philly.
I forgot. I completely forgot that they had a dedication for Bill Russell.
And it was a dedication for Bill Russell. Dude, we snoozed. But we did take the underdog because they were +3. So that's what we get. All right, man. So I got the Warriors over the Lakers today. I think they're going to win by +10. And it's definitely going over 225. I think the Lakers might put up about, close to 100, but I think they might get blown out. They might get the brakes beat off of them because the Lakers got turmoil. Well, actually, both teams got turmoil in the locker room, kind of. So,
Yeah,
we'll
it's gonna be a little bit different because the Warriors have a banding together. They know what it takes to win a championship, so they'll be professional when the game is on. And yeah, Warriors definitely.
I just don't want to see Kevin Durant shooting a bunch of jump shots today. I'm Kevin Durant. I'm sorry, Anthony Davis. Where the hell is my head at? I don't want to see AD shooting a bunch of jump shots today, man. I can't stand when
Who else
he
is gonna
just
shoot, though?
settles. I'm just saying, go to the basket. Do
I
something.
hope so, man. He came out talking about, this is gonna be his year. He's gonna.
Man, he don't
can't
talk.
stay healthy, man.
Every time LeBron come out tweeting and Instagram and before the season talking crazy, they get wiped up with the floor. Okay, so I'm gonna need them to stop talking, and I'm gonna need the Lakers to just show up because I still got a lot of love for LeBron. I think, if Anthony Davis can actually show up, I think the Lakers can be top 6 and avoid the play-in. But it's gonna take a lot. If LeBron got to score 30 points a game again, it's gonna be the same as it was last season. So hopefully LeBron can have a good season, man, because I'm a big LeBron supporter. And with that
Same
said,
here,
man,
same here.
that's the show, bro.
Yes, sir.
That's the show.
It's been a good NBA special.
I feel great about the NBA special. There was a couple technical difficulties, but hey, man, we're at the beginning stages of this podcast life, and I am loving it. The creative side, the production side of putting the podcast together. I love talking sports. I just love talking, period. I love to hear myself talk. Can't you tell? I look forward to our next episode. It's going to be episode 3. Technically, it's going to be episode 4, but this is a special edition of Speak on the Sports. Any final words or final thoughts?
Excited about the NBA season. To be honest with you, I haven't looked forward to the start of an NBA season for a while. I usually wait till Christmas before I get into NBA, just because I know, historically the regular season hasn't mattered. But I just feel like this year is different. People are going to show up and show out, and this is going to be a great overall season. So I'm looking to go into a couple of games too. So.
Okay. Well, we should definitely go to a couple of games. I got a homie that works for an NBA team right up the road here. I don't know if I should say his name or the team that he works for, so I just won't. But I'm sure we could get some good tickets. Even maybe comp a game or something like that. There are ways to finagle some things.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So I think this is going to conclude our Speak on the Sports NBA Opening Night special. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to TSO Media. We're going to keep this content coming. Hopefully you guys enjoy the show. Have a great night, man. Enjoy the games.
Peace.
We out.